pals.
Greetings, pals.
Greetings, pals.
Welcome.
Mark is a bit slow on the uptake there.
Forgot what happens.
It's been a while.
Hey, shush. Welcome to the podcast on the Pal. My name is Frank.
My name is Marcus.
My name's Tom.
And today we're talking about one of the greatest movies of 2025. Amazing leading man, amazing director, amazing source material. It's an awards darling. It's just got a heap of hype around it. I can't wait to talk about it, you guys. The Running Man. Let's go.
I'm glad that was the bit, but I do have to say, you almost certainly said amazingly men at some point there. I think we'll have to play the tape back, but I did hear
That's all I heard. Definitely all I heard.
Amazingly men.
Amazingly men.
I think this movie is amazingly men as well. Like,
men and women.
Men and women,
all sorts.
obviously, but it has a very obviously like a bent towards a male perspective, which is very typical of this filmmaker. But we'll get to it. We'll get to it.
Wow.
That doesn't sound right.
Wait, so we're not doing Running Man?
Hollywood doesn't do that, do they?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, if you've read the title, you know we're doing one battle after another. Paul Thomas Anderson's R-rated 2 hours and 40 minutes Oscar bait.
He's epic.
Oscar bait?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot going into like what this has been framed as by PTA and the media, but certainly it's been a very successsul Oscar play, regardless.
I just hate PTA as you can't call him. Just call him Mr. Anderson. No, that doesn't work either.
I see you're fully just
Mr. Anderson.
Yeah.
No. He was always going to do PTA this entire pod, so buckle up, buckaroo.
Yeah,
I just think it's like, what else? We're going to call him Anderson? Yeah, it'd be really weird.
Paul?
Yeah, that feels like we're talking about a guy who works at a UPS. I don't know. I guess we could go with that if you want.
Thomas Paul.
Okay, so it's Paul Thomas Anderson's. It's his epic. It's starring Sean Penn, Leonardo DiCaprio, Chase Infinity, Regina Hall in a great dramatic turn, you could say, and Tiana Taylor, and
she's
of course, she's done. Let me finish the cast list.
You stopped on Regina Hall and you were like, who I normally just think of as Scary Movie and nothing. And like, she's done other things, but of course Brenda was her big calling card.
100%, and that's the greatest thing she's ever done. And of course, Benicio del Toro is in this, just having a few small beers.
BTD, please.
BDT?
BDT's in this PTA movie, OBAA.
He's having a FSB.
An FSB. I had a few beers. Small beers.
Anywho,
okay.
We're so on the pulse. That meme's gonna take off now that we've decided we think few small beers.
We're so on the pulse
funny.
because we haven't done a podcast in 18 years.
Really, this feels really airtight to me. I don't think anyone would be able to tell how scattered we are.
On this podcast,
I feel like I'm definitely getting words in between you two at the moment. I feel like this. I'm doing a podcast with complete strangers.
Yeah,
you two are so erratic.
It's nice to meet you. It's nice to meet you, Marcus. We'll bring you in a second. So on this podcast, we rate films.
Guest. Sorry.
Out of 11. It's fine. Out of 11. And Thomas, I know you've got a good one for this.
That we rate this podcast out of 11.
As in the logic as to why we would rate it out of 11, not out of 10.
Reason we would rate this particular film out of 11 would be a reason that I would have.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, just checking. I believe it's the number of times that you've been rejected from the Christmas Adventurers Club, but like lucky number 12. Lucky number 12, Frank.
Fuck.
It's coming.
Fuck.
Yeah, that's actually a really good one.
Yeah, look, I've had some time. This movie's been out for a while. It was probably my first thought after watching it back in October.
That's so funny, and it was quickfire too. That's literally your first thought.
It's very hurtful, but kind of funny. And for anyone who doesn't know, if you're a new listener to the pod, I'm not a racist.
No, you're just a Christmas adventurer. That's a different thing.
It just comes up. It just comes up.
No one said anything about that, Frank.
True. I just love Christmas. Big
Christmas is for fun and family.
Chestnuts roasting on an open fire. Okay. Shout your name if you like this movie.
Tom.
Marcus.
Frank. All right. Shocking we all like it. It's like, up for best
I would
picture.
argue is very hard to not at least get a good groove for. Like
at
when
least
it's
have
on,
some
it's
fun.
like this is just like a very well made film. Even if you don't buy some of it and you find maybe parts off-putting, I think you finish it and you're like, well, that was good. That was a rip-roaring time.
I feel like historically when someone reacts in a certain way and you go, oh, well, they were definitely on the lower side of this, and then they do their scores and it's higher than the person who was like, Frank!
That's going to be interesting because you definitely sound like you're fencing it a little here, Marcus.
I'm fencing
do you
a
want to go
little bit.
first, or do you want to go last?
Marcus, go first.
I'll cap it off. All right. I'm going to give this one a 6.8.
Okay. That's not bad. 6.8.
Which to me sits very much on the lower end of the scale in terms of a film that I should have liked more than I did.
Sure.
And considering, I guess, everyone else's reaction to it as well.
Overwhelmingly positive. People love it.
Yeah.
I'll go 7.7. I think, I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, no,
Totally
it's not
good.
an 11, is it?
I will go 9.7.
Whoa! I don't have any more sounds.
Which, like...
He's out of sounds.
Which it sounds like even the way you're talking about it, Marcus, where you're like, 6.8, I liked it, I wish I'd liked it more. I still wish I'd liked it more at that rating. I really thought if there's a movie I'm going to come out of and be like, that's an eternal masterpiece that I will watch 1,000 times. I've seen it 3 times now, and I cannot get above like a high 9. I'm just like, it's a really, really awesome movie. I think it's fantastic. It doesn't sweep me up the way it seems to. Say again?
Yeah, I'm at my one and only watch. I've only ever seen it the one time, so...
I watched it last night, so it's fresh.
You know all about the history in there, Frank.
Yeah.
Like, you're pretty familiar with it all, right?
Is that I used to be revolutionary?
On
Viva
one
la
side,
revolution!
yes, absolutely. You were
Frank,
far to one side of that revolution. Definitely.
Frank, when you were playing, when you were watching it as well last night, did you win on roulette or?
I watched a high quality HD version. I paid for this in my home.
Okay.
Fantastic.
For the listeners,
Trying to-
just for anyone that's tuned in right now, Frank is known for having Indian roulette pop up on his screen for his illegal download in like
Getting Frank
what's
to
lower
watch
than
a
720p, whatever the lowest is.
Getting Frank to watch a good quality version of any of the films is just always one battle after another with us. It's just so like difficult to try and get him there,
Frank's out there watching it in 2-bit on a Game Boy or something.
Yes. I'm not even going to bite. I'm not even going to bite into that. That's just it's just ludicrous slander, and I won't stand for it.
Yeah, that's such a Christmas club thing to say.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Marcus, you're the lowest score. Start us off with some initial thoughts. What didn't you like about it?
Okay, I'm gonna hit some pretty heavy notes here. I'm gonna give you my hot.
Glad you were thinking the same thing, Frank.
Very good. Very good. Heavy
notes.
Oh, nice.
Like a big piano.
That was strangely in sync, you two. It was like
I saw him gear up for it. He took a big breath.
Leo DiCaprio.
Am I that transparent?
Leo DiCaprio doesn't need to be in this movie. I'm going to start there. I think anyone could have played that role. I think you could have given it to your generic Pedro Pascal.
No.
Any sort of like
Strong
skittish-
disagree right off the bat. But continue.
We can definitely touch on it for sure. Benicio was severely underutilized for such a great character. I did not get enough out of him. In fact, do you know what? I think he would have made a far better protagonist. I reckon take Leo out of this and have the daughter not be a daughter, be a student instead, and this would have been a way more interesting film to me almost. Sean Penn is out-acting almost everybody, but maybe in a different movie. I'm not real sure. It's
He's
definitely
certainly
a swing.
Acting more than anybody else. Like he's going for the cheap seats.
I will say that Sean Penn is easily just my favourite thing in this, whether it be for the right reasons or the wrong reasons.
That's crazy because it's Frank's favourite thing in it as well, but I do think definitely probably more the wrong reasons. I'm going to stop doing it, Frank. I'm sorry.
Yeah, please.
And
I have
lastly,
no retort. I have nothing to be like, shut up, it's not funny. Anyway.
Lastly, I think that the staying power of this film just isn't quite there. I think that it's ahead of the curve in terms of making a very obvious social commentary on what's happening in our current sort of social climate.
Mm-hmm.
But I think you're going to see 100 films from here on in that are going to tackle the same thing, if not better. I'd even argue that maybe Civil War was maybe first to it. So this was fine
which Civil
to me.
War do you mean? You mean?
The
good one.
1860s, I think he's talking about, definitely. Right.
Yeah.
I really love that movie, as you know, Marcus. Civil War is, I think, a great movie.
Me too. Especially the knife fight between Captain America and Bucky Barnes.
Jesus Christ.
Awesome.
I think it's a very different movie, but I agree with you that it has some of the same concerns going on.
You can see how I can connect the dots, though.
100%. 100%. Yeah.
And then my summary here is that I think the film didn't create enough tension for me that there wasn't. On a surface level, there was a lot at stake, and yet I never felt at any point did I hold my breath and worry about any of the characters and how it was going to pan out. That's my take.
You felt as though it was predetermined to sort of resolve itself fairly happily or fairly optimistically.
I love a strong female character, but the daughter being a very clear reflection of her mother, almost a mirror image, as a younger version. She to me was far too capable, and I was like, I'm not worried about her. I'm generally more worried about Leo in this film than her.
In terms of capability, yeah, but I was definitely worried for her because she's surrounded by psychos, so you're like, ooh, what's going to happen?
Of course. And yet I still, by the end of the film, was like, well, of course she's going to be okay. Like, I'm not worried about her, genuinely. I think Leo's going to trip and fall and break his neck somewhere at some point.
Well, that would be the sort of, I guess, the nice, an ironic sort of twist or an ending to be like, oh, well, he's the revolutionary, he's the bomb man. She's just an innocent, daughter. So how is she going to survive? But like, of course, you would. If you were going to have one of them die, it would have been Leo for sure.
The first shot we see of her is her going through the motions, like her martial arts class. Like, she's obviously a very capable person. One of my favorite like transitions in. From the last few years. I love that part of the movie very much. But yeah, I don't disagree with you that I think you get a sense pretty early on in the film. Leo talked about this, PTA talked about this, like a lot of people involved in it, that it's kind of Star Wars, just made with a much more obvious, like, current day political allegory. Obviously, it's taking place in America. It's taking place with the technology and the parlance that we have and whatnot. But yeah, you kind of get the sense pretty early on, like, well, the rebels may be fucked and they may kind of be scattered, but they're not going to lose. Like, it can't end with the forces of darkness, as hilariously stupid as they are, cannot win in this movie. It would be unwatchable if they did.
Benicio is the R2-D2 of this story, right?
Yeah. I prefer to think of him as the Jar Jar Binks, but that's okay. Like, that's.
And whereas Leo's more of the C-3PO, do you know what I mean? Like, he's just like bumbling and incapable.
Yeah, I think Leo's.
Why are you going straight to the droids? Of all the Star Wars character, they cannot be. Maybe they are the leaders.
I think Leo's like even more incoherent Yoda in this, right?
Yeah.
Like,
and just as short.
Okay.
Well, no, I mean, all jokes aside, I think Benicio would be your Yoda. Like, I was just being funny.
Benicio del Toro is Han Solo.
I mean, that's kind of a good shout, I think. Yeah, I think he's the he's the cool guy who's not the main, but every time you get a little, like, spice of it.
And he kind of saves the day.
Yes,
really, like, rescues Leo and
100%.
Sure.
And he fucks.
That's my fault. We definitely digress, but you brought up Star Wars. That's your fault.
Yeah.
Yes, I apologize. That's just something. Yeah. It's got that same energy where you're like, regardless of how swept up you get in the narrative and the tension that's arising, you always have that reassurance of like, this is going to end as well as it can. And it basically does. I mean, I don't think any of the characters who we really love or care about die. Really, like it's the saddest part is the first 40 minutes where a lot of the French 75 die, but those are people we've kind of just gotten a sense of. It's a great montage, but they're obviously not people we have a huge emotional attachment to. Sorry, Frank, what do you think? Where's your 7 mid-range sort of coming from?
Off the back of Marcus's comment, I think Leo is, and I don't. Here's the thing, I'm off the Leo train, have been for years. This is one of his best performances, I think.
I think so too.
I think he's just.
I think he does this
so enjoyable. He does it. He loves to unravel. He loves to scream and to run around and be out of control. Sidebar: he's one of the worst on-screen runners I've ever seen. He's so unathletic. It's hilarious.
Say more about that, Frank. This is the first time you've mentioned cinematic running. Can you give us more of an in-depth?
Well, we all know Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise looks like he's running fast. Aaron Taylor-Johnson, good sprinter. Tiana Taylor in this movie, pretty good runner. And that's
Ezra Miller can't even see them. Just
Ezra
gone
Miller,
in a flash.
Terrible runner. Gone in a flash. And good riddance.
Let's not talk about Ezra. Yeah,
Leo just is like flopping around, and it works for the character. It works for the thing. But
he's kind of amalgamated his Wolf of Wall Street with his Departed almost in this. Like, he's got sort of the energy of both characters meeting in the middle to me.
But without the malevolence, even though he does get very irritated at the dude on the phone. But for the rest of the time, he's never like his character in The Departed is borderline psychotic. Like, he's not well.
Dangerous.
And his character in The Wolf of Wall Street has no soul. And this is a soulful performance of a guy who's just really fucking cranky. He's really pissed off that he has to deal with this shit and that he doesn't have the bandwidth for it.
But it's also, like, if you go back to the early, so like you said, Tom, the first 40 minutes of when his partner has the baby and then she's like, I'm not being a mother, I take care of myself, bye-bye. Like, a beautiful sort of transition from him. And obviously I'm the only one here who's a dad. So I was like, well, I resonate with that. And then you see him 15 years later and he's kind of given up on life and he's smoking a lot of weed. And
see, I resonate
he looks
with
like
that.
Tom on the couch.
This is the thing. Yeah. You see him at the start of the movie and he's probably playing my literal age. And then it flashes forward 15 years and I'm like, I get that guy. That makes sense to me.
That makes sense.
He's Tom on a day off. Truly.
I had to cut my hair for this episode, so I didn't just come in and you guys are like, so what are we doing?
You were
here?
great in this film.
That's you running around in the dressing gown.
Truly.
But when he's smoking the weed and then what does he hear? He gets the phone call.
Yeah.
Like, code words, it's coming. Meet at the rendezvous point. He's like, okay, don't get paranoid, don't freak out. And you can just see him getting paranoid and freaking out.
And he smokes it
and
again
he's like,
right after saying it. Don't get fucking paranoid, man.
Stop smoking the weed, man.
So
just get
funny.
going. It's so funny.
Fuck. Well, I got a little high and I can't remember like it's very funny.
It's so funny.
He's
and I do think,
yeah.
sorry, just
Sorry, you go for it.
like Leo when his daughter goes to the dance and he's like, who's at the door? Who's coming to get you? And he's freaking out. He's like, oh, hey guys, you cool? Everyone's
homie
cool?
calls
Like,
everyone that's not white homie. It's just such a
Yeah.
great touch.
And you're like-
It's such an aging hippie dad thing to do. You cool,
Yeah.
homie?
It's anyway.
Great.
I think it's Leo's best performance in the last 10 years. I literally just watched half The Revenant like a week ago because I'm not getting through that shit. Like, he's back. And he might be a creep, art versus artist and all those things, but he just is so fantastic in this role.
I don't think
We're
Leo's
definitely
got-
on.
He can do everything, right?
No, you go.
He can
You
do
go,
everything.
Marcus.
Oh, sorry. I just wanted to say we're definitely at different ends of the spectrum here. I'm not saying for the record. I'm not saying that Leo is terrible in this film. I think he did a really great job. I love Leo. I think he's very talented, and I think he's a good leading man. Right. In this film, though, I just felt that he didn't add enough for me. Whereas everyone around him was doing a lot of the legwork in terms of performance. I think he was very much almost safe in a way for me. But maybe I need a second watch because what you are saying a couple of things that I'm kind of clicking onto, and I am seeing. I laughed, like I was finding the comedy in his stuff very, very fun, very engaging.
Because the thing about Leo is he can access his emotion. Like, how we've spoken about Amy Adams, and she just has it ready to go, and there's the emotion right there, top of mind. Well, Leo's the
Saoirse
same.
Ronan's the same.
Saoirse Ronan
like, there's
turns
just
it on.
certain
Leo just
actors that
allows you in. And the scene where he's in the car with Benicio del Toro driving, and he's talking about his daughter and how he doesn't know how to do her hair. And he's like, I wish her mum would just come back because I don't know how to do her hair. And it's like such a mundane little thing. And it makes me so emotional because you're like, that would be so hard as a single dad. Not knowing how you gonna do the hair.
It's very telling that you and I both have that reaction because I've spoken to people about that scene. I went to see this at IMAX in October and it was packed. It was awesome going to see it with a huge crowd of people at the IMAX.
Brag.
And that scene comes right after such a propulsive collection of, like the scene with Benicio and his sort of unlicensed or undocumented immigrants, and he's like, I've got like a Hispanic or a Latino Harriet Tubman thing going on here, and like so much of propulsive
We need
stuff.
to talk about that whole thing because
we do need to get into that.
It's barely
but
spoken about, but God, it's cool.
Interesting how it's told. But yeah, Leo in the car, it was such a quiet moment, such a little reprieve from everything. And I remember him saying, I can't do a hair, man. And in this empty IMAX, I truly just involuntarily went, like, I was like, God, like that just upsets me so much. And then I've talked to other people about it and they're like, well, what about from the daughter's perspective? And I'm like, of course it would be hard for the daughter. It would be insanely hard. I'm, of course, like watching it and I'm spending so much time with Bob that I'm getting that from like, man, that sucks for him. And of course it sucks for her as well. It's awful that she doesn't have...
You don't get the same scene from her, so you're not. How do you have that emotional
You get a very
reaction?
different thing where she's contending with the legacy of her mother, and of course there's a huge racial element coursing throughout this movie, and having biracial children. But we're gonna have to get into that later on. The Harriet Tubman immigrant stuff is great. It's stuff that I thought was like a little random and arbitrary the first time I saw the movie. And on each successive watch, I've just been like, yeah, whatever. This is just a lot of fun. And it's obviously playing into the themes of sort of like solidarity, you know, within sanctuary cities and trying to fight back against fascistic, right-wing authoritarian militant groups and all this stuff. But it is just fun. It's kind of crazy how fun and kinetic that section of the movie is.
And
with
it is,
Benicio.
I do think it's so great because it's so calm and normal. And like,
Yeah, he doesn't, his pulse never raises.
And you don't fear for any of them. You fear for Leo, like Marcus said. Like Leo is just,
you got a charger, homie. Thanks, homie. Thanks, homie. Like, just
you got a gun for
time.
me, Sensei. You got a gun for me. You got a gun. You got a gun.
Yeah.
Like just freaking out.
They really missed an opportunity here with because he obviously runs a dojo, right?
Yes.
They could have called that Schindler's Fist. Hey.
Oh,
Why, for any other reason other than it would make us all make that sound, Frank just said. Like, that's kind of the just so we'd all go, oh.
But it's the special finishing move, and they do a fight, and they're like Schindler's Fist. And it does give away his intentions.
Yeah, it's hiding in plain sight. I kind of love that.
Oh,
Anyway,
okay,
missed
yeah.
opportunity. PTA,
Well, that's
I'm just saying.
Schindler's Lifts, as in the elevator company. They do the same thing. They're in.
That's funny.
They're fighting the government every day.
Very funny.
It's
They're
true.
going to bring them down. You know what I mean?
Bring them down.
And, you know, I love that you Frank, obviously resonate in any film that we seem to watch nowadays with when it comes to the family matters very quickly. That's what you gravitate to.
Yeah,
understandably
1000%.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas Tom would have been upset if Leo didn't get to finish that joint. Do you know what I mean?
I thought that was pretty upsetting. I thought it was pretty rude that he.
Yeah.
I was so over the moon when Sensei showed up to save him from the hospital and he brought beers. I was like, "Fuck, what a legend!"
Just
what a
throws a
legend.
six pack in his
Just a
arms.
great thing to show
Sorry,
up with.
total
Single
sidebar.
tier.
Total sidebar. But I saw an Instagram story of someone at Party in the Paddock rolling a joint, and they were just like off their face, and they dropped the joint, and everything went everywhere, all through the grass. And I just was like, "That's such a sad." It's like a kid with an ice cream, but for Thomas.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
That guy who's got his
Yeah.
free taco and then he falls over like with a
It's
joint.
like it's a sad clown thing, isn't it?
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
Tommy should
Oh
put your wig
wait!
on.
That got me really sad. Now I just realised how how I'm seen. I think like we haven't really done this, but we should go through at least some version of a plot synopsis. I know we're already 20 minutes into talking about the movie and we've jumped all over the place, but do we want to try a very brief plot synopsis?
Well, I've got
The
a very.
story follows an ex-revolutionary someone or other bomber who you took it off the screen. I was just
Oh, sorry.
It's
like
his name is
Do you want to go out because it's based off the book by Thomas Pynchon?
Paul
Pynchon?
Thomas and
Come on.
no,
Come on,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Well, we're not allowed to say PTA, unfortunately.
But PTA has said that it's easier, it's shorter. Has said that it's based off, but he very much just like had the idea of
I've
using
read
a
the
couple
book.
of things in there.
It is incredibly loosely based on it. There is a handful of things in there that match up, and then it goes completely tangential.
And then, sorry, just to clarify, like Inherent Vice.
Yes,
Paul Thomas
was
said that's pretty much a direct adaptation.
which I've never read Inherent Vice. That's the only PTA movie that actually kind of pisses me off. I find it really hard to watch that movie.
Yeah, it's inherently boring.
It's one of those films that
Had me in a vice script the entire time.
Cool.
that's a hot take. We're not going to talk about that right now.
Yeah. Anyway,
I'm just a wordplay. I've never seen it.
Oh,
Did you not hear what I said, guys?
you said it's inherently boring. You
Yeah.
sounded convinced.
And it's
then
got me in a vice grip, which are contradictory terms.
I heard both of these, and it's fine. Like, we need to get off this.
Do you want to do one more?
Go on.
Yeah, sure.
You know, if it was the president, it would only get to vice. Fuck, dude, don't let me do another one. Don't let me do it.
Hold me back.
Wow.
Hold me back. The book Vineland is, all about. It is all about aging hippies who are kind of learning that their revolutionary ideals and whatnot maybe didn't work, and that they have to accept that they live in a world that has been defined by and shaped by fascism, because the fascists are just a lot of the time more committed, even if they're going to be they're going to have their own internal squabbles, and they're obviously going to have nonsensical and abhorrent politics. They do commit more to the idea of just like absorbing other communities and enacting power. But really, like, the book is a guy and his daughter. They split up for the whole book. He had a wife who abandoned him, maybe seemingly for like a right-wing authoritarian guy. And then the daughter and the guy are always kind of like missing each other throughout the book. That's the only real similarity and overlap.
Wow, okay.
The rest of it is incredibly different. But the movie is about, Ghetto Pat, Leonardo DiCaprio. He meets Tiana Taylor's character, Perfidia Beverly Hills. They hook up. They're part of this left-wing sort of, they'd be called a domestic terrorist group, obviously, by the government, but they're basically a resistance group called the French 75. They have a baby. She fucks off. Obviously, her and Sean Penn, Colonel Lockjaw, have an affair. And years later, it's the story of a day in the life of Ghetto Pat, who's now Bob, and his daughter Willa, and them just trying to stay alive when they're being hunted by Lockjaw and this military group, right? And it's, I think, given that the first 40 minutes of it go by like that, and then the rest of it takes place over about basically 24 hours. It's an incredibly paced movie. It's a lot of fun sort of thinking about the timeline of it, that it doesn't feel impossible, but it still feels loaded. You know, it's a good nacho movie from a guy who doesn't always make those, guy who makes more complicated films normally. And this
You'll
is like
never guess what I had for dinner last night.
PTA.
Yeah, PTA.
While watching this, nacho.
Pasta, tacos.
You just said it's a good nacho movie.
Yeah, I know. I just was fucking...
Just
Fucking with you.
really rude. I'm upset you wouldn't let me do
In the last 5 minutes, we haven't mentioned any other food, so I'm guessing that was the food.
I figured it was that. And he was like, I guess I fucking ate Benicio del Toro's asshole last night. We're like, oh, okay. That makes sense. That checks out. Did you not?
Advice.
I had a vice-like grip on that booty. Okay, go on.
Me? I wasn't saying anything.
You were telling us about dinner and we all got sidetracked.
Well, I think that was a
his
great
bit.
synopsis from the plot, and
It was
well
very,
done.
very great. So let's talk about Lockjaw,
it 3
because I
times.
really want to talk about Sean Penn here for a second, for what I think is such an acclaimed actor and a very hard-working...
What do you mean?
But a little-
He's won 2 Oscars. This is going to be his 3rd. Like, he's
and a
pretty...
little pretentious when it comes to his craft and his art, in a way. I don't think he's not... For a guy that can do comedy, like literally created a career off an extremely comedic role in... was it Fast Times?
Fast Times.
I don't think he ever
Yeah.
thought that was a comedy, though. He just
No,
thought,
but that's the
I
thing.
think he did. You read interviews with him and he's like, I understood it was funny. I was doing Spinelli in a funny way, but I took it seriously. And you're like, yeah, that's what Sean Penn would do. He would take a very stoner role very seriously.
of course he
Absolutely.
would.
Yeah. But it worked.
So
He's very funny.
He makes
He's
it...
hilarious in I Am Sam.
Oh, come on now. I don't mind him in that. Anyway, whatever. I love Sean
I had to
Penn.
say it. He's hilarious in
I think
Milk.
he's fantastic.
Like, name
but
one
he
real-
also
He's
he doesn't
hilarious.
know how to just relax a little bit. I think Sean Penn sometimes just like as the Sean Penn persona.
He relaxed.
He's
He
way
relaxed
too
with the Golden
intense.
Globes. He relaxed when he's having a
Yeah,
cigarette.
you could see where he had 4 cigarettes in his mouth at once. And he was just
And they didn't kick him out. Well, they
every
did kick
time they
Will
got
Smith
up
out, so.
on the stage, he's just prowling behind everyone. Like an
Guy thought he
insane
was
man.
still at a Sizzler or something. I don't know
Truly.
where he thought he
Yeah,
was.
or you can eat a buffet of ass.
But I think he's really, really great in this film because that intensity is exactly what I need from it. And that's what I was talking about before, where I just didn't feel enough tension from this. I know they're being hunted, but it wasn't until Sean Penn was on screen that I felt just something again. And I kept wanting Sean to be on screen constantly because without him, the movie for me felt very sort of almost Netflixy in a way, a bit sort of generic and not that engaging at times. So...
Can I ask you something about Sean Penn? You like Sean Penn? I love him. I love him. Just one of the funniest lines of last year. You like black girls? I love him. Just
Great.
so fucking good. The meme that people put together. I know you guys probably haven't seen the latest Avatar.
Stranger Things. I don't like girls.
No, the Avatar one.
Oh, the Avatar one.
And it's like,
Do you like Navri?
no, Quattrich, Stephen K. Lang's character. He's like, you like blue girls? I love it. It's so good. But yeah, Sean Penn is. He's not my favorite performance in this, but I'm very glad he went as far as he did with it. It wouldn't work if he was half playing it or if he wasn't leaning into the absurdity of it in the way that he is. So I appreciate that a lot. Absolutely.
is it Tiana Taylor?
Tiana
Yeah,
Taylor
Tiana
is
Taylor.
Perfidia Beverly Hills. Did you guys
She's-
know her from anything else?
I saw her SNL before I saw this.
Yes.
God,
which was
I-
interesting.
I just watched something and I swear she was in it, but I didn't actually fact check that.
I know her more
God
as a
forbid.
musician. She's been around for a while. You know, she
She did a lot of
made-
stuff with Diddy, which is good.
Okay, good, awesome.
well,
But she,
what? There it is right there. Closer to God.
it was a music video, right? But she has a song called "A Rose in Harlem" from 2018 that's really good. She was in the Fade music video, the Kanye song from 2016. She's kind of been in the radar Just a striking woman. But hasn't done that much acting. Like, but you know, she was like in My Sweet 16, you know, that MTV show or whatever when she was young. So she's always been around. She's one of the most, like, almost, you know, staring at the sun, astounding looking people in cinema right now. Like every shot of her, you're like, how the fuck can someone look like that? I don't really understand. And if she wins an Oscar, it will be for the performance, but it will also be because the camera is just like, what do you do with this? Like this, you can photograph this woman from any angle.
I was gonna say, she's so angular and striking, has such big, strong features. Like her eyes are enormous.
Wasn't sure where you're going with big, strong, but I agree, definitely
big, strong,
some
biceps.
Features. Without trying to be too purient, the movie has those shots where, like, when it's from Sean Penn's perspective, watching her from a distance, and it like pans down to her butt. In those jeans, and you're like, good lord, like, what? How is that even possible?
You can see, because you're trying to justify Sean Penn's attraction to her at some level.
His obsession with this woman that he's like, I don't even know if did I hallucinate this woman? It doesn't seem like she could be real.
Their first scene together is so, you just go, wait, what's happening? Wait, because, you know.
We've got Lockjaw.
Why would you ever expect that to be what's happening?
Lockjaw with a 10-meter erection in that opening scene.
I think, Marcus, I got to tell you, I think you need to reevaluate your distances and your metrics. If you're looking at that, you're going, well, if that's 10 meters, what I'm working with must be like, that is not 10 meters. I got to tell you.
Don't ruin this for me, please.
So you're a cat kind of guy? No, a cap kind of guy?
Yeah.
So you're making a reference to a pun Marcus did off mic.
Yep. It's a strong reference, as strong as his joke about the 10-meter. What are you talking about? Like,
he does have a big.
Now I'm going to Fred Durst it. Now we're Fred Dursting it.
You Durst.
We got to cut. We got to cut and stop. Take the hat off. This is inappropriate.
No, let him have it.
It just
we can censor it.
So I was watching The Rip the other day, and that's where I saw Tiana Taylor in there as well. And
she's
I
in The
don't
Rip.
think and she's not very strong in that. I think that she's starting to fall into that sort of caricature already.
Is that the new Affleck and Damon one?
It is, yeah. And the film's good. Like, it's not bad. It's very Netflixy, and Damon's sort of working with a very obvious structure and format that he knows works for Netflix.
Sure.
But she's in that doing something similar, if not, like, very watered down, like cop version. Well, that's why I don't find her all that interesting in that. Whereas in One Battle After Another, I think she, like you said, she's so striking when on screen, so intense.
That's what you would say.
The unpredictability of her nature that is so terrifying that she's perfect for, a revolutionary character, as it were.
And yet, I think her strongest work in the movie is the voiceover material, which is really interesting and at odds with the fact that when she's on screen, you feel like a magnetic pull, like your eyes are just being kind of laser focused on her. But then when she's doing the voiceover work at the start, where after she's had the baby and she's talking about, my nipples hurt and I'm just this piece of meat. Is it crazy to be jealous of my own baby? Which is such a heartbreaking line. And then the letter at the end, which 3 times in a row, every time it gets to like the opening line of that letter, I just start like sobbing. I just think it's such a beautiful moment.
I expected more from the letter or from her return. I mean, what would you do? I don't know, but I felt like that was a downfall for the movie for me.
That was my question, actually. So did I miss something, or did we just never see her again?
We never see her again. The last thing we see of her is putting on the gear where she's basically like, putting on an outfit or a disguise and she's walking across the border. And that's it. In the 40-minute mark, we never see her again. But we do hear her voice at the end.
Which is crazy.
Well, we see photos of her in a file, right? You've got up on the screen, Frank, some of her credits. And I should mention, it's a movie I haven't seen, but everyone says 1001 is really good. And it's this Tiana Taylor sort of breakout performance from 3 years ago where people were like, she's remarkable in that film. So I really want to check that out.
I just want to go back to what Marcus was saying about how, The Rip is kind of Netflixy, kind of watered down. Nothing about One Battle After Another is watered down. The whole film is like straight whiskey. Like every scripting decision, every character. I think, even Leo and even Regina Hall, like everyone's kind of playing their part, so committed, 100%. And absolutely locked in. I don't feel there's any weakness or any water in the drink.
And I don't think it's second screen.
I was going to say this, not at all.
Either.
No.
And Matt Damon and Ben Affleck have been doing the rounds, and Damon has, quite candidly said, look, the amount of times we were like in the process of making this film, and they're like, you got to have a big action sequence in the first 10 minutes, otherwise people won't watch it. Every 15 or 20 minutes, if you can restate the plot, that would be great, right? And really, apart from Leo repetitively trying to get the password in the middle act of the film when he's trying to work, what time is it? There is nothing in the movie that just keeps repeating itself. It's always just moving forward. And if you've drifted off for 2 minutes, you would have to turn to someone and be like, so wait, what happened since I was looking at my phone?
You've got to pay attention. Yeah.
You do. You have to pay attention. There's even 2 characters in this movie that I think it's hilarious. The first one we meet is, I think it's Tony Hyde is the actor. And he's one of the spokespersons for the Christmas Adventurers Club. He's quite the tall, like, dashing guy with the slicked back hair.
Who's also from...
He's the voice of Tarzan. In the animated movie.
You mean Tony Goldwyn?
Tony Goldwyn, not Tony Hyde. Yeah. Tony Goldwyn.
What else is he from? Oh, he's from Hacks. He's from Hacks.
Sure. And he's so compelling, but he's obviously so compelling in that really like mundane evil way where everything he's saying, the tone is so inviting and so like, synergistic corporate speak, but you're just like, yes, I'm a white supremacist and I'm inviting you to join us.
Yeah. And you might like me. Like, I'm actually fun to have a drink with.
I'm actually like a very personable guy.
I'm attractive and charming, but also my eyes are evil.
I got to tell you, not a fan of those other people, right? and then when the hitman shows up at about the halfway part of the movie they hire, I thought that was the same person. And it's not till they're in the room together you're like, oh, those are 2 different guys. And I think PTA did that intentionally to kind of be like, 100%. I got you. Like, these guys are actually...
Who was the other guy? Because I want to shout out... I'll bring him up in a second. There's another actor I want to shout out who was quite good. Who's the other...
There's a lot of really great one-scene performances, as is often the case in PTA movies. And all of the guys in the Christmas Adventurers Club, especially that scene where he goes to the secret garage, they have that like vista of the duck pond behind them.
Yeah.
That scene is so fucking funny. And it is like to the movie's credit that they can be talking about something so despicable. Yeah. But someone could say, we think he has a mixed race child. Which race? There's no easy way to say this. Yeah, it's black.
It's awful. It's hilarious.
It is funny in a way where you're, of course, not going, yeah, I'd be angry too. It's funny because you're like the absurdity of these people being so serious about this.
The secret underground meeting for all this stuff.
Hailing Saint Nick, you know, it's great. Sorry,
it's
Marcus.
that secret. No, it's all right. It's that secret underground interconnected tunnel thing that really gives me the ick. Like, out of everything that I saw, just having these doors, just this long corridor of doors, and you're like, this Diddy tunnel almost just makes me feel so uncomfortable.
Putting a fast and hard ban on Diddy tunnel. I think I'm going to go ahead and just say
Epstein tunnel.
Yes,
absolutely fine.
Any surname that's problematic in the word tunnel, I think we could hear it, like Weinstein tunnel, Spacey tunnel, right? We don't like it.
Spacey?
Oh, wait.
As in,
there's a knock on my door. I think it's the FBI. Hang on.
Okay. Well,
someone's made it into my Hensley hole.
It's Tiana Taylor. She's behind me.
I think, do you know who I think would have been fantastic in that role as well?
In the white supremacist role?
Is it Matthew McFadden?
Matthew McFadden.
Oh, yes, that's a great shout. He would have done a really good job just doing his full Tom energy from Succession. Yeah. Yes.
And seeing him sort of having to unwillingly sort of hunt down this kid almost.
Yeah. And just this, like, talking to the wife at the front, like, about the banana pancakes.
You banana pancakes?
Love those banana pancakes. Yeah, great. Yeah. Like, you can imagine
absolutely.
him. Yeah.
Okay, shout out to James Raderman.
We got to be careful with this guy, though.
Ooh, why?
Why can't rate him?
No, you can rate a man all you want, but the James Raderman apparently has worked in this actual field before. Like, he is a guy essentially who has trained in infiltration and interrogation.
Because I was going to say,
there's a reason he's so fucking good at it, and he's so piercingly terrifying.
He's got no credits. He's not
acting. That's just what he does.
Then I'll withdraw my.
But I'm kind of like, I don't like bringing moral. Obviously, like, if you're watching a movie and it's a snuff film and someone gets shot or whatever, or it's like a harmful thing happening. But like, he got an amazing performance out of this guy. I can't fault that. It's just once you learn who he is in real life, you're like, oh,
it's a similar
that's
thing.
why.
Yeah, wow.
High risk, high reward. So in Full Metal Jacket, when they had that legitimate drill sergeant on set.
Yeah,
I think
when they just shot Ali Ermi in that one scene, he just died on set. It's fucking crazy.
But it can be extremely effective having someone as legit as that. But again, high risk, high reward. That can fall flat too. So I think this is a great example of that usage.
They probably had a standby actor ready to go, but he so good.
I don't think this guy started waterboarding anyone in the middle of a scene like Regina Hall had to a safe word or anything.
But sorry, that's also
Henry
my question.
Henry Rollins is on the sideline just being like, I'm ready. I'm ready, guys.
But if he's agreed to do this film,
Yeah.
does he have some self-awareness, and has he, like, does that sort of represent him in a good light?
It's tricky because you think about like a film we're not talking about today, but Kevin O'Leary is in Marty Supreme right now. Kevin O'Leary's is he the Shark Tank guy?
It's not called Shark Tank, but it's the same. It's the business.
It's a similar thing. He's a total fuckhead, and he's like a very pro right wing, like provocateur guy who gets up and talks about how like people just need to put up and shut up, and not a very pleasant man. I don't know if he knows Marty Supreme is making fun of him. Like, he doesn't seem to understand that movie is utilizing his persona to fucking lampoon the sort of person
No, well, he's so arrogant and egotistical that they'll be like, well, of course you want me in your movie. I'll be fantastic.
It's very easy to flatter people. It's very easy for PTA. You can imagine going to this guy, James Redeman, and being like, you are terrifying, and I think if I put you on film, you will be really, really good at conveying that sort of silent, affable menace that I need. And he's like, thank you very much. And you're going to pay me? Sure, great. Like, I don't think he's politically minded in that way, right? I think he just does what he's told. Like a good soldier. Foot soldier, exactly, 100%. But he's very good at it. He's got one of my favorite lines in the movie where he's trying to interrogate all the teenagers, which is very funny that they're the hardest ones he has to deal with. None of the teenagers want to give him the number.
He's like, give me the number.
Do I look like your father? And the kid goes, kinda.
It's very good.
Good line.
All right, let's talk about Chase Infinity, should we?
Yeah, unless Marcus, you had something?
Yeah, sorry.
No. I will get to that later. It's fine. It's fluff. I think she has a great career ahead of her.
She's so good in this movie. It's a little bit like discombobulating. Like, it was really quite like putting some of the scenes they do on her shoulders in this.
Well, she's also the only straight man. She's kind of the only normal person, right?
Yeah. I would agree with that.
I know what you mean. She doesn't really get as much of... I mean, I'd argue Regina Hall as well.
True. But like of the lead... For anyone.
Everyone else...
quite supporting.
Yes, Chase Infinity doesn't really get to be funny, although what the fuck is wrong with you, which she says to Leo in their first scene together, is very funny. And she gets, why is your shirt so tight, to Sean Penn, which is very funny as well.
And then his response, I was like...
I'm not gay, if that's what you're saying.
That's not what I said. His line delivery.
I love that.
Anyway.
He's very funny.
She's great. I think she holds the entire thing together. She's the glue. It wouldn't work.
Doesn't work without her.
She gets to really work in that particular scene, which was reminiscent to, I just wanted to say this, there's a scene with her and Lockjaw when she's tied up in the nunnery.
Yeah,
the church or chapel or whatever.
The Beaverhood, the sisters of the Brave Beaverhood, I think they're called.
Yeah, and
which is a great name.
That's a really great.
That's directly out of the book. That is one of the few.
Is it actually?
Yes, it's a very Thomas Pynchon thing. Yeah.
I really love that scene. I think that they get to work. She gets to bounce off him really well, his energy and that intensity. Whereas. I had a point there. Shit, I think I've lost that. Doesn't matter. I think, that scene was very reminiscent of that particular scene with Javier Bardem and Daniel Craig in
Skyfall.
Sure.
Skyfall.
Yeah, the weird tension of it.
Yeah. What's his accent? It was like, Daniel. No. What does he do? He's like, the rats.
Yeah, he calls him Daniel. I mean, fuck. I'm sorry. Yeah,
it is very...
Mr. Craig. That's a great scene as well. I think she really gets to work there. But I think you're right. She is somewhat the straight man in the sense that she has to be the straight and narrow for the narrative for us. Leo's just got that little flick of chaotic nature in terms of trailing her and trying to hunt her down.
He doesn't start like that. And then as the movie progresses, he digresses. He's just like...
And you see how he would have become that way. You believe 100% that this very idealistic guy... What's up?
Nothing. I can't wait to see you in 15 years.
15 minutes.
As soon as we finish recording.
This idealistic guy who just completely, as he says, look, man... I have fried my brain on drugs and alcohol, okay? I'm a drug and alcohol lover. The amount of ways he just tries to explain that he has tried to numb himself from the failure.
Horrible life.
I don't think he's had a horrible life. I think he's
Are
just
you kidding me? His wife, air quotes, the mother of his child just left and you had to raise her in the woods with a fake identity. Are you kidding? Like, where is the joy?
But what's he
in that?
doing with his time? He's getting drunk and going and hanging out with his old bandmates and talking about Steely Dan production. Like, he's not got a hard life from the sounds.
He
That's
seems
the
like
only
he's
part
having
of
fun.
the only part of the dialogue I didn't believe. He was like, they got that old school tube sound. I was like, you don't know what a tube amp is, Leo.
I don't think he does either. I think it's funny that he's like remembering snippets of what someone told him yesterday at the club, and then he's just kind of throwing it back at her in a way.
Yeah, I wasn't that drunk. Yeah,
I think
it's almost like he's reading a script. It's weird.
Hey, that's true.
He's acting, man. That's acting the fool.
Crazy. But I do think that you see how that develops there. Whereas what you said with him becoming more bizarre and wacko, and Chase Infinity only gets a handful of moments to really unlet, and they're very powerful moments in the scene where she confronts the hitman. Obviously, the whole movie is playing on this idea of these codes that this left-wing group have between them of like Green Acres, Beverly Hillbillies, and I can't remember the other one was the Jeffersons. And then they have to say, will not be so goddamn relevant. And they have to say this code back to each other. Mm-hmm. And when that guy doesn't understand what she's saying and she unloads into him with the clip, and then after she shot him, she fucking like lets out this howl. And then when she sees Leo and she makes him say the code back to her, and he says, "It's me, sweetheart, it's daddy," and she yells, "Who are you?" at him in this way that always fucks me up. I think it's because it's so layered, right? Who is this guy that I thought was my dad until about 20 minutes ago?
And in her reality, she was just at a school dance.
Yes.
Like a couple hours ago.
Someone has made the observation, I think it's Adam Naiman, who's a really good Canadian critic, who's made the observation.
You can name him if you want, it's fine.
Sure, I will, sorry. So it's Adam Fancy Pants, and he, I don't know, Adam Naiman says that it's really the story of a dad dropping his daughter off at a school dance and then picking her up at the end. Basically, that's the movie. Like, they don't see each other and then at the end he's like, "So how did it go?" Like, that's the movie.
Awful.
Yes, truly.
Yeah, that scene's very powerful when he's like, but then he says the code and he's like, immediately.
Okay, I'll say it, right?
Because and for a second I thought, will she shoot him, or will she even accept that he knows the code, and I guess will they
you touched on it, Tom. I think you're 100% right. When she says, "Who are you?" it's not "Who are you?" It's "Who are you to me?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've lied to me about who my mother was. I've found out she was actually a rat. You're not my biological father. What am I to you?
Yeah.
And yet, once she runs to him and hugs him, it's just like the most beautiful thing in the world.
I
that
do
they're back together.
feel it's stunning. I do feel sorry for Tiana Taylor's character in a way, because when they start slamming her, they're like, she's a rat. It's like, is she that bad? Like, yes, what she did was, not great, obviously, but I feel like she gets a bad rap by the end of the film. You're like,
and
whoa.
None of them had to contend with, because the whole thing of being, you see that incredible sequence where she goes to rob the bank with the other members, and we have our wonderful French 75 member, you guys might remember her, Jungle Pussy, who's played by the actress, let me check, Jungle Pussy.
Amazing.
And she's amazing. She has her real name, I can't remember, but her stage name and her rap name is Jungle Pussy. She's amazing. And she does her whole speech, and she's putting on this performance. This is what Black Power looks like.
Look at my
Pays
face.
for my ammunition, my transportation. And then when she hears a gunshot, you see it completely crumple. And she's just like, that's not meant to happen. And Tiana Taylor's shooting a guy. They're all suddenly like, that's not what we're not meant to kill anyone. And none of them have had to confront that and deal with the threat of imprisonment, possibly a death penalty.
Yeah.
And so
also taking someone's life so directly. Like, I feel like that really weighs
Jungle
on
Pussy really tightened up on that moment.
I was actually about to say something sort of serious.
To be fair, Marcus is quoting a tagline from the movie. Like, that is on the poster. So I think we can let that go.
Hey guys, I'm just contributing to the fun here.
Hey, why'd the music stop?
I'm deprived of these jokes lately. My new career path just doesn't allow it. So
no, that's
please
fair. If you dropped any reference to Jungle Pussy on the radio,
please just let me be vulgar.
Sorry, I don't think anyone's career allows them to say, "Yeah, Jungle Pussy really tightened up." In the office or any professional space.
I feel like pretty loose places, Frank.
I feel like Tarantino would write himself a role so he could say that in his next movie. Like, that's probably
he'd add a few extra words in there, wouldn't he?
Yes, 100%. It would be Jungle Pussy, except with a couple of alterations.
I just want
a few thousand feet.
I just want to say one thing that is striking about Tiana Taylor's shooting the security guard: the fact that he's a black man as well.
Yes.
And you're just like, what? I don't know. Like the whole point of the movie and the statement they're trying to make about race and all that sort of stuff.
Choice.
It's really powerful.
Race is such a heavy component of the movie. And sometimes one of my criticisms of it is like, to the degree that I think some of it's not like paint by numbers or anything, but some of it just has to be a bit simplified and a bit streamlined in a way, because I think PTA knows he's playing with fire. He's a white guy making this movie, and he is putting a lot of dialogue into black characters' mouths in 2025, and he recognizes the degree to which he doesn't want to be stereotyping. He doesn't want to be being tokenistic, and he doesn't want to be creating like cautionary tales or, I'm sure he really maybe didn't and but he probably took a while to think like, do I want to have my black female revolutionary character turn out to be a snitch? Like, is that going to be taking this, someone who should be emblematic of this movement, and instead turns out to be completely like undermined?
Problematic, not.
But I still think, it works. I think it's great. I do find her and Lockjaw's attraction something that I don't dislike it. I just always kind of go like, yeah, sure, I guess, right? Because it's a little bit.
I thought she was just playing the game.
But she's clearly not.
No.
Right? Like she seems to get off on the power she holds over him. When she sodomizes him with a gun, it's clear that she's like, I actually really enjoy the sort of influence I hold over this man. The fact that he is such a representation of the oppressive forces, and yet he's clearly so attracted and smitten by me. But I do find his whole... It's not the same thing, but it's a distinction without much of a difference, which is like, when people used to say, oh, if anyone makes fun of you for being gay, they're probably gay, or they're probably attracted to you. It's a little bit Sean Penn like, I'm a racist because I love black women so much and I'm so insecure about it, right? That's not exactly it, but it's kind of what it is, right? He's ashamed by his almost fetishization of black women. And so it spins him hard in the other direction of this like completely racial, abhorrent attitude. I find it a little simple, and I don't 100% understand Perfidia's like why she would sleep with this man, have unprotected sex with this man, and potentially get pregnant. Like I do. I just find that a little like... maybe a couple of steps further than I can really justify for the character.
Well, she just seemed a little too willing to do it, even though she was under somewhat duress, in a sense.
When I'm in the cinema watching that scene for the first time where she gets him to like get up and have an erection, I get the power play, but I'm also like, oh, is that what this is going to be? And I don't think I've ever really recovered from the shock of that, of like, okay, I guess that's what this dynamic between these two is. And that's not my favorite part of the movie, but it serves a function. So, for sure, the movie can't happen without it.
Frankie, how are we doing for time there, pal?
We should probably go into the pantry.
Yeah, I'm wondering if we do a pantry and a couple of little minis following that.
Bit of time for me to talk now?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, let's just continue on that train.
The butler in a pantry with a mic.
Woo!
The butler's pantry.
I mean, I think
abrupt.
the detail about this movie that probably people who are familiar with Paul Thomas Anderson, his personal life and sort of his, just generally sort of like the information and context around him, but maybe not everyone knows, is he's in a relationship with Maya Rudolph. He has been for, I think, 20 plus years at this point. Maya Rudolph, obviously,
I did not know that.
Well, and they've got 4 children together. And, Maya Rudolph's obviously, a very well-known black comedian. And so he is the father of 4 biracial children. And he really is writing this, I think, from the perspective of trying to engage with what that's like. And I think in a very admirable and surprisingly deft way. It's not... He's very self-aware of how much of a goofball he must come across as sometimes. Like that scene with Leo completely bitching out Willa's friends, and like he's trying to get the pronouns right. And then when someone knocks, he's like, now who's this fucking freak knocking at my door? Like, he's just so unchill. He's so aggressive, and he just doesn't really know how to slip into the being the cool dad anymore, And I'm sure PTA is just like, my kids think I'm a goofball. My kids are growing up in a world that is obviously very much doesn't fall down on racial fault lines, but a lot of the time finds its expression in racial language and culture. And they look at me and they're black children or biracial children, and they have this goofy 50-year-old white dad, and they must be like, what's up here? Like, what's going on? So he's dealing with it, I think, that through this. And the idea that you kind of like get to an age where you hope that the kids take on the good stuff and ignore some of the stupid stuff, right? And the stupid stuff obviously being the code words and all that. It's obviously a very politically minded film, but it's also a very family oriented film. So it works more, and I think it works better on the second front than the first front. It's a much better.
It's much more personal.
That was a beautifully interesting and very succinct Butler's Pantry. I'm very impressed. Well done.
That's very nice of you.
Let's get out of there. Sorry, but do we love the fact that at the end, Willa then becomes a revolutionary and is on the radio and is going about, taking on the family legacy, as you would say.
I wasn't sure how I personally felt about that at the end. I'm neither here nor there with that decision. I don't know what would have been a better one, so I can't criticise it. I guess is where I'm sitting with it.
Sure. Yeah. I think it's great. I think it's exactly what needs to happen, especially after getting the letter, which I don't think oversells the fact that, Perfidia just wants her daughter to recognise the potential that she has and again, just as I was saying, not fall into the same pitfalls as her and make the most out of any energy and charge she still has to change things. Right. Yeah. Going to Oakland, which is a 3-hour drive.
3.5 hours away.
Yeah.
It's raining. Drive safe.
Leo trying to take photos.
Be careful. I won't. Good.
Yes.
Let's move into MVP.
Come on, then.
Come on, then. He's got the soundbite ready. Just totally ready. I love the organisation of your screen, your desktop there, Frank.
Thank you.
Definitely know where all the bytes are.
It's been 3 months.
Since you looked at me. Okay, so...
It's been... I just want to say, just off the top, just real quick, no real weak links, pretty incredible casting across the board.
Yeah, ensemble cast.
Don't think there's not a bad performance.
How many of them are nominated for Oscars?
We've got Tiana Taylor, who's almost certainly going to win. Sean Penn, Benicio. Benicio's probably going to win. And Leo are the nominees at the moment. It's not going to change. There's not going to be a write-in vote.
Yeah.
I don't think Benicio was given enough. It really irritates me.
I mean, he's got 13 minutes of screen time is what they say, which is just crazy.
He's not in it that much, but I do think he's had the longest, people really feel he's the paprika in the dish. That's it really doesn't come together in that sort of
the bay leaf. You don't know what it's doing there, but without it, it's no
100%. And you chew it, and you're kind of like, "What is that? Oh, bay leaf! I forgot about."
You take them out before you serve it, Thomas. Do you know anything about cooking?
Sorry, no.
No one bites a bay leaf and goes, "Oh, yeah."
I've had about 5 people say to me, just quote the line, "A few small beers." Just say it to me randomly, and I hadn't seen it, and I've seen the meme 45,000 times, and I was like, okay, what a line.
Him doing his little hip shake when he's walking back towards them.
And this is what I mean. I think he's so superb that I wanted more out of him, and that bums me out a little bit. So my MVP is going to Sean Penn.
Yeah.
Sean Penn's death.
Not that I think he's necessarily the best performance in this, but he was the most engaging for me, and the one that I wanted more on screen. That kept me going throughout this.
Yeah.
I think the MVP for me is so boring, but it's Leo.
Sure.
Because it's I just remember what a fucking fantastic actor he is.
He is.
So
when you were saying before,
I feel bad saying it, but it's it's so boring on me.
When you were saying he's back, Frank, I have to admit I found myself I've never really think Leo's left. I think every now and then
ever.
He makes a decision every couple of years because he basically makes a movie every 3 or so years. And every now and then he makes one where I'm just like, well, who among us? That's fine. If you want to go and do Don't Look Up, or you want to do The Revenant, or you want to do J. Edgar, that's fine. You can do
J.
the
Edgar
great...
is fantastic. What are you talking about?
That's an interesting choice, seeing as...
You don't like J. Edgar?
Well, I suppose if I put together The Christmas Adventurers and then J. Edgar's life story, that probably is the intersection of your entire existence. So that actually makes sense.
Oh, my word.
Tom, who's your MVP? Shut up.
Look, it's Leo. I think Leo does some things in this movie that for a guy who we've gotten so used to his tics and his tendencies, he has a moment that I've thought about maybe every week since I first saw the movie when he's on the phone during the Hispanic Harriet Tubman sequence and he's waiting for the guy to go get his supervisor and he just says, "Life, man. Life!" And he just does it in the weirdest way I've ever seen. I don't understand what that impulse was. Even just when he's saying he can't remember the time and he does I can't remember. Like just the stress and the anger,
because he
and
wears
the
it so
frustration.
outwardly. Like he's just
Yeah. The animation that he can display with his face is just incredible.
and
He's always one of the
without
best.
it being Jim Carrey.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, it doesn't
100%.
feel, and yet he's a guy that we almost never think of as funny. And then you watch this, and you watch Wolf of Wall Street, and you're like, what a funny fucking dude, or like what a guy who's capable of giving these really astoundingly comedic performances.
Yeah.
I know we've done MVP, so we're probably on our way out. We have to very briefly, if we're talking about the best thing in the movie.
We got one more thing to do, by the way. But go
Well,
on.
let's do our one more thing, and then I'll remember it.
Well, I wanted to do recast again. I don't know if you prepped this.
Oh
or
yeah,
not.
no, let's do recap.
I'll get the
just don't
sound
do a
bite. The sound bite's
soundbite.
not even. It's not the one that I've been trying to rewrite a new one.
Recap.
Oh no, that's not the one. Oh fuck! We'll just play it.
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
I'll put it
We'll
in the
do it
final
live.
mix. I'll put it in the final mix,
That was awful.
and there it goes.
All right. Does anyone want to go first? Otherwise, I can
No, you go ahead.
if you want. I think your okay. So Zendaya could have easily been Willa, in my opinion. I think
I think it overpowers the role. I think she's capable, but we're all like,
Don't
oh,
think
it's
she's soft enough.
I just think we just go, oh, it's Zendaya.
Naming
But I think
rights.
it
Yeah, that's
almost
fair. That's fair.
needs to be someone so unknown or close to unknown. But I think
so
she'd be
right.
capable of doing it. I don't disagree. I think she's good
100%.
enough.
Your Benicio again. I mentioned him before, but I think Javier Bardem could have also done a very interesting take on that. Your Leo, I could have looked at maybe an Oscar Isaac almost
Sure.
to find that sort of erratic nature still, but still having that sort of fatherly urge there. The problem is I'm naming. This is the thing with recast. I've realised is that you can get very safe. I can find actors that I can constantly reel off because I think that they're so consistently good. I could put them in and place them in a lot of films.
Yeah.
So I end up repeating myself a little bit. And then I think for our lead girl, I'm so sorry,
Teyana Taylor.
Teyana Taylor, maybe this is a swing at Kerry Washington. But
Sure,
I think
no.
Kerry Washington's very strong.
She's strong,
don't-
but she's got doesn't have the same.
She
energy.
got that intensity. No,
Yeah.
I know.
No.
It's a tough one.
She's a hard one. I have an idea for Teyana Taylor, but I'm immediately willing to admit I don't think this is as good. But if I gunned ahead, if I'm like Teyana Taylor can't be in this movie, it has to be someone else. I'm casting like mid 2000s Jada Pinkett Smith. Like I'm casting her
yeah.
right at the time that she's
when her and
Niobe,
Tupac was still a thing.
you know, essentially.
I also to throw back. I think an Alec Baldwin at 30 Rock days could do Benicio del Toro.
Sure, that's funny. I like that. Yeah,
Like
that is
because he
funny.
kind of has that. Can't really be
Yeah.
flapped. And then you go back 20 years, and Alec Baldwin could do Leo's character.
Yeah.
In fact, Alec Baldwin could be anyone across the board.
Alec. I think Alec.
Including Willow,
You know what?
of course.
Tracy
Including
Morgan
Willow.
could have done them all. I think.
Tracy Morgan. It's just the SNL cast.
Basically.
Justin Timberlake, he's good.
I think that there's a really strange version of this movie that works with a really beaten down and lethargic looking Alexander Skarsgård in the Leo role. But like, I kind of look at just even his stature, and I don't know if you could really get it to work.
yeah.
He's just he's too gargantuan.
Too tall. I know.
He's too
I know.
Tarzanic.
He can
But
do Goofy really, really well.
It could be Paul Rudd.
I could see that's an interesting call. Paul Rudd might have actually been.
And then,
interesting.
off the Anaconda, on Anaconda press tour, you got Jack Black as Sensei.
Wow. I don't want Sensei busting out into song at any point, though.
Fucking, that'd be great.
Your daughter's missing. We gotta find her. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Yeah, that would be bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very
No,
funny.
Paul Rudd's an interesting choice.
I'm finding this very hard because I feel like
I don't have a good one for
this
Benicio.
is what I mean.
there's not a lot of air around these characters. Like they're pretty locked in. So it's like, who else would you want? I can't think of. I would want anyone else. So
I know who I think would be funny in the Lockjaw role, but I don't know if it's again. None of these are better performances.
Jim
but I
Carrey
think-
and Me, Myself, and Irene.
Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey. No, Dennis Leary.
Oh,
I think he'd be really funny doing the Lockjaw stuff, even though it would almost be like,
Yeah.
oh God, take it
wait.
down a notch, man. Like, you're so
Yeah.
aggressive.
speaking
Jake
of,
Gyllenhaal could have been a good Lockjaw. I think
Jake-
that he Or even Tobey Maguire, if you've seen him in Brothers.
Brothers,
Tobey
yeah.
Maguire can't do anything. No.
I disagree, but
just
I
shoot him in the head.
you
Sorry,
He could date a 20-year-old and he's doing it, and no one can stop him.
he's 50 now.
Yeah.
Okay, speaking of old dudes, Jim Downey is in this.
Yes. Jim Downey, of course. We do have to talk about.
Tom, do you want to quickly just clarify
Just
who
very
Jim
quickly,
Downey
Jim
is?
Downey used to write for SNL. If anyone's wondering who's this guy, people should be aware of the meme that he started probably 2 or 3 years ago, where he was on Conan's podcast and he was talking about Jeffrey Epstein. And he goes, Jeffrey Epstein, the real estate developer. And everyone's like, no. Jeffrey Epstein has a secret pedophile island. He's like, Jeffrey Epstein, the New York socialite? I don't think we're talking about the same person. Like, he
those great parties. Like,
truly. And they're like, he's dead. No, nice try. I would have heard about that. Like, he keeps just playing the bit that he doesn't know Jeffrey Epstein is guilty of this stuff.
For people who don't know, he's also the principal in Billy Madison.
Yes.
The one who's like, everyone here is dumber for hearing what you just said.
Yeah. But he looks so different in this to how he looks most of the time, because when you see him, he's got a mustache sometimes he doesn't, but he's the guy who says, we're trying to clean up the street from haters and punk trash. Like, he has that line, and he has the line, a semen demon, as well, in the back end of the film, which is very funny.
That whole scene where Sean Penn's like, I think I was reverse raped.
I was raped in reverse. I believe the enemy engaged me. Like, such an odd...
Sorry, what's the opposite of MVP? Because it's the prosthetic on Sean Penn's face.
I think it works because it looks like
it's about to fall off. It's going to fall off.
He looks like he's playing a goblin in some Middle Earth sort of spin-off. He really does look horrific.
Like, back on the menu, boys.
Yes. Oh, and when they say he's been admitted into the cloud, he goes, "Oh, mommy, thank you." He's so weird. I have to. I know. Sorry, we're right at the end. The chase scene in the back end of this film is. We
would not be a movie podcast if we didn't speak about that scene.
That's maybe my favorite scene in the last 10 years. Maybe that and the Sinners music sequence where they're first playing at the juke joint. But like the cars on that stretch of road on this undulating, almost wave-like sort of expanse.
Because I've heard about the lens, and it's a very long lens, so the focus is very minimal. The depth of field, etc. Only this much is in focus at any one time. So every hill and everything's out of focus and then in focus, and it's like really discombobulating.
Yeah,
it's just the feat of editing, crossing between all the different drivers perfectly, showing us what specifically Chase Infinity Willa can see and how frightened she is. Johnny Greenwood's score. Just the like, dun, 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 dun. Like, you're like, what the fuck am I watching?
Great score on the whole, by the way.
That is one of the things. One of the things at the IMAX that like you could feel people just vibrating watching that. It's an incredible sequence. Big fan.
Right.
I like this movie a lot. I think it's not a masterpiece for me, but I understand why everyone basically is calling it a masterpiece.
We should just quickly. It's nominated for 13 Oscars.
13 Oscars,
which is crazy.
Yeah. Which second to Sinners, which is nominated for 16 Oscars.
Which is the record, and it used to be Producers, was nominated for 14?
No, I think
15.
Titanic had the record, didn't it?
Yeah, sorry, I'm thinking of the Tonys.
You're thinking of the Tonys, yeah, sorry, that's all right.
Legit.
That's okay, I understand.
Anyone change their scores?
Yep. I'm going up.
But you're not going to tell us. It's a secret.
No, I'll go to an 8.3. Yeah, I had a good time.
I think
you don't need to sing it. Like I'll just put it in later. I know you have a compulsion, but it's fine.
Yeah, no, it really is a compulsion. I kind of, this is another one of those cases where I wanted the argument to work in the favour of the film. I really did. I think that you two have heightened it for me in a way that I needed to have it heightened. Yeah. I still have my issues. I still stand by what I said, where I think that it could have improved upon some certain aspects to really keep me locked in. But I will go up from 6.8 to 7.6.
Oh, nice. I spent basically the whole time talking about why it's a great movie. But I still do have my like little things about it that I bump on. So I guess I'll just still stick with a 9.7. You know, there are lines in it. You remember the bit where they're talking about the the sisterhood of the Beaverhood, and Sean Penn hears about it, and he's like, "Is that some kind of sick joke on God?" And there are just lines like that I'm like, I don't know, they just are a bit much for me. Like I go,
the
like,
nunnery stuff didn't really land for me.
No,
when
and it's so interesting, and we get there, and then they're overtaken, and I'm like, oh, that's a bit of a bummer.
Yeah.
Like
it's just a blink and you miss it thing.
Yes.
And the same as the parkour kids across the rooftop. As funny as it was having Leo fall between the buildings and stack it, the parkour aspect of the kids doing all that shit, with that kind of pissed me off a little bit.
It was silly.
I see what you're doing here. Yeah.
I don't know how they did that. There's this legendary short film of Philip Seymour Hoffman in character from Punch Drunk Love, where he's the mattress king, and he falls off a van and hits the pavement. And Paul Thomas Anderson filmed it, and you watch it and you're like, I don't know how he didn't just fall off a van and hit the pavement there. Like, that just looks like it's the same, that shot of Leo where you see him fall from a height through a tree, seemingly hit the ground, and you're like, well, that's a stunt man. And then he stands up and walks towards the camera and it's Leo. And it's an unbroken shot. You're like, how the fuck did they do that? I don't understand how they did that shot.
I liked that, but it was the parkour kids.
Yeah.
The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles running across the rooftop.
The how you doing, fellow kids. Yeah.
Yeah, truly.
Fair.
Well, that's it from me.
And that's it from me.
And that's it from me. Roll credits.
What?
Oh, I should roll the credits.
Yeah.
No, just say it.
Do we have to pretend to hear the credits this time, Frank? Or
I forgot what happened. I was just
pretend?
going to cue you in like every other time.
Oh. The consistency's great, pal. I really love it. Where sometimes we have a soundbite, sometimes we don't. You're like, just
true.
pretend, guys.
It's hard
Frank,
for me because...
Frank, do you like podcasting?
No.
Yeah.
I love podcasting. I love it.
Way to time it out to get the joke on the button. That's good.
Throw in the power.
No dead air. Thank you for listening to Throw on the Power. My name is Frank.
My name is Marcus.
My name's Tom.
And that was Throw on the Power, our episode about The Running Man with Glenn Powell.
That's not what we did, you liar.
Isn't it? What did we do?
This has been great. I'm so glad we caught up again.
It's one fucking thing after another with you, Frank.
Throw in the power.
That's a good running gag.
That's not a bad gag. That is a long episode. It was fun.